the most important. And there you are, looking very fashionable, my friend.
Trying
Welcome.
to be. I'm trying to stay warm, actually. It's cold here in Vegas.
Okay.
You have no idea.
Well, this is a problem for me because I'm heading out that way here in a few days. So how is this 40s for a high? That cannot be normal. What's going on?
Not really. It's a little warmer than that as a high, but it will be that way in the morning. And then like right now it's windy. It's kind of dry. But like maybe it will go to 50, and it's cold. It's hard to explain, but it's cold.
Well, here in Missouri, we had a 65-degree Christmas, and I'm now shipping out to Vegas where it's going to be 20 degrees colder.
It will be colder. It will. Okay.
That's crazy, isn't it? Well,
and actually Thursday, our gig day, they're talking about cold and rain, and in the higher elevations, some snow.
Well, it sounds like a good evening to be inside. At Counts
that's not
Vamp'd.
where the club is. I mean, where I live, it can dust some snow. I've never had like inches of snow or anything like that. But there's beautiful mountains and places to go like that in this Southern Nevada area. So, and they'll have like a lot of snow. So,
really excited about the show, Bruce. This is why we're here. It's December 30th coming up here. And this is a long time coming because we've had you on the show before and we've talked about putting this Kiss Kruise band, out on tour. Of course, this is before COVID and everything, but here we are, another successful Kiss Kruise that you guys are just coming off of. And we have a show on land at Counts Vamp'd coming up here on the 30th. This is so exciting. What was the impetus for this? When did you kind of start putting this show together? How did it come about?
Well, and I'll be honest about it. As much as I kind of knew that everybody would be around late December, but the inspiration was really the fact that Kiss had a residency booked, which they now postponed,
Right.
Around this time. It was like 3 or 4 gigs at the end of December, and then including New Year's probably. And then they were going to pick up more in later in January. And they wound up like now putting all that on pause. So what was interesting was I knew that the 30th was like not a gig day for Kiss because I didn't want to go on late.
Right.
And then I started to have my manager and I speak with the club. I knew where I wanted to play, which would be Vamp'd, which is a great room.
Yeah.
And they have great light and sound. And we know a lot of the people involved there. It's owned by Danny Coker, Counting Cars. Okay. And, that's the big history car show. It's been 10 years now he's done. And I think he was involved with that Pawn Stars thing, which was also a Vegas show in a way, where they come in and have to look at things and get them worked on or whatever. So we kind of like were planning it already pre-cruise. Then we get on the cruise. And that's when they announced, we already heard it like the day before, but then they announced that the residency is postponed. So we made the decision to move forward with it for a few reasons. First of all, it is that golden chance that we're all available to do it. The club was available. And they were willing. They don't usually open on a Thursday, but because it's, the holiday weekend, they're opening Thursday for us. In fact, Danny's a band, the Counts 77, his group that does classic rock stuff from that era, from the 70s. He plays on New Year's Eve the next night. So anyway, it just turned out to, do we keep the gig? Do we not keep the gig? And I just thought it was too good an opportunity. We already set it up. And to pull out just because Kiss did, I didn't think that was the right call. Now, some people did cancel their trips because Kiss did. Some people were kind of stuck and thought, Vegas for that time period, I'm going to keep the tickets. You see what I mean? Now, since then, of course, the other people that want to come who never had the plans necessarily to do Kiss, they realize that the flights are stupid. I hope you bought yours at a better time.
I did.
People were telling me about $1,000 from the East Coast and stuff like that. It's crazy.
No, it was it was really good. And I think that's what was craziest because I had, just like you described, had tickets to the Kiss residency of the 29th. But then in the meantime, that gets canceled. Disappointing, of course. But then your show pops up and I'm like, you know what? We're still going. Bruce and the band are playing. And then David Lee Roth, his shows pop up on New Year's Eve as well.
Right.
So there's a lot going on. As Gene says, there's a lot of traffic, but nobody could be more excited to see you guys. And you guys have great, to me, one of the best values of a VIP package I've ever seen available on your website, BrettandBruceKulick.com.
I kind of made that up with my wife, Lisa. And, I mean, some of it's based on what I've seen I learned so much about the Kiss fans during the pandemic and everything. And then, of course, I don't, have to go on the platinum package for a Kiss show. You know what I mean? But I do get what they're doing. And as long as, you feel that that's a good deal, and it sold out pretty quickly. There were sadly a couple of people that had to pull out. One, just there was an illness in the family. And then the other one, the PCR tests and everything coming in was going to be too prohibitive. So we always had some other people asking. So I was able to kind of replace them with some of those people. So we'll still have that. It's still a limited number, and they'll get the sound check and the Q&A and a photo with the band. And Lisa and I, again, not something that you could do. I was talking to her today at lunch, even said, like, this VIP package, a touring band couldn't really do it the same way, because a lot of it is about the gift bag. Yeah. I know bands will give out certain things, but this is really like a unique, like the t-shirt in the size they wanted, in a gift bag, and with Bruce Kulick stickers in there, tickets to the mini golf, and those aren't things that a touring band typically could put together as a special package. But with it being a hometown gig, it's very, very doable.
It is. So we've seen so many wonderful shows on the Kiss Cruises over the years with this band, with Todd and the guy, one of my favorite vocalists, Todd Kearns. He's tremendous. Yeah. Of course, Brent Fitz on drums, but the set list, it's always all over the place. You guys play stuff from before your time, from Lick It Up, from Animalize and on up to through Revenge and Carnival of Souls and everything like that. So, I guess I'm prodding you for what. Can you tease us with what the set list is going to look like, Bruce? Because
first off, I did want to give a shout out to my other secret weapon, which is Zach Throne.
Zach Throne.
He's sing,
he does a great Gene
so well, and he's just an all around, another brilliant musician. And he either plays bass or guitar, depending on what gig he has. He just finished playing with Corey Taylor. He's his go-to guitar player, not bass player. And then Todd, who's my guitar player and singer, is Slash's bassist.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, and Brent can fill in on anything, what I mean, as well. So it's pretty remarkable. But just understand that every cruise set there was a reason behind a lot of the choices of the songs, particularly on Kiss Cruise 10. There were a couple of real surprises in the sense like, well, why do I do a Lick It Up song that wasn't really related to me? Exciter. Okay.
Yeah. It's
and when it was brought up by Brent, I remember going like, wait a minute, I don't even know who played guitar on it. And why are we doing that? And then he said, but you got to hear it because we've already started the show with Creatures. We started the show with, Creatures I did in a live 3, of course. So once I heard the song, I said, yeah, this would kill. I think this is great. They never did it. And that got a really big reaction. So, again, would I do a my era song that they always do? That doesn't always make a lot of sense, particularly on the cruise. Okay. Now for the Vamp'd show though, two other points about the recent cruise. I went really deep because it was the first live performances with the guys, so that I could do a medley for my brother, which was a 25-minute thing, digging into songs that I was a little familiar with, but I never played or really heard that well. And then because it was the 30th anniversary of the passing of Eric Carr over the 24th of November, which was close enough to the cruise, which was just about almost a month before, we did some songs from Rockology, which is very unusual, from the Eric Carr record. And then Little Caesar and et cetera. So we made that and All Hell's Breaking Loose, which was something Eric wrote, you know what I mean? Again, another song, not from my era, but a great tune that Kiss never does. So for that Kiss cruise, and that crowd, shall I say, is extremely deep. You can't go deep enough. You could do all demos and they'd be happy. Okay. Unreleased material and they'd be happy. Right. So, but I really wanted to approach the Vamp'd show much more. I want to celebrate my era, but more with the bigger hits. But then I will have some surprises in there and some of our favorite other songs that I really think deserve to be able to be played in a set. So without giving it away, it isn't as deep as the cruise, but it's still going to be really enjoyable for the fans.
That's really good. And I'm so excited to hear this. And I tell you, have you been almost surprised over the years when you do the cruises, just what a voracious appetite there is for these songs. I tell you, there's no bigger fans of your era of Kiss than Dick Clark and me and all the fans on the Kiss Cruise. Obviously,
Right.
Does it surprise you when you first started putting together? It's been what, six years or so you guys kind of started doing these.
In a way, it doesn't. And I'll give you a little backstory to the cruises. I remember maybe by Kiss Cruise 2 or 3, I asked Gene, I go like, would you consider, having me play? Because at that time it didn't do it in America much, maybe at an expo, in a US expo, Kiss convention type thing. I would jam with other guys. But I used to go to Mexico, to Australia, to Europe, play a Bruce Kulick set, you know what I mean? And his reaction was like, it was not time yet. And that would open the door for Ace and what else could happen. And he wasn't comfortable with it. Now I respected it. And I had to ask, now you go like 6 years of what do we do that's different? And by 7, that's when it became the cruise that turned into the one that my brother and I did, which really broke the wall with true other Kiss content artists, okay, which was, and it really was wrapped around a more innocent thing, like I think it was called Kiss World. So there was going to be a panel, and Bob and I were involved, and Lydia Chris and John Hart, the big security guard that they're still close with. So you see what I mean? And then they asked Bob and I to play, and we morphed that into Brent and Todd, and let's do a great set, you know what I mean, kind of thing. And that definitely broke down all the walls, and they loved having Kiss content, and then they wanted Ace. Okay, you see what I mean? I mean that was the excuse I got from Gene. And so am I surprised? Well, maybe if it was Kiss Cruise 2 or 3, I would be surprised. Maybe, you know what I mean? But not by the time that they keep looking for different angles to make the fans happy. And how could a band like mine, playing all the songs that Kiss, doesn't feel it's important to play, and I respect that I can do and make them happy. Why not? Right. So it makes a lot of sense. And I also think time has been kind, that it's been long enough, in the same way that they had to do the makeup when they did the makeup, it was time for the makeup. It's kind of like Star Wars coming back. I always use that analogy, So ultimately, it was the right time to get the non-Kiss band that's related to Kiss to play. And who knows, maybe Ace will do it again. Maybe, that could happen. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see is kind of the attitude for a lot of bands, certainly including the Kiss End of the Road, which who knows when that will be. But Bruce, you just celebrated a birthday. You're looking fantastic. You're on the right side of a certain decade. You're still on the right side of it, man. So everything's going great. You played some dates. Grand Funk came back, played some dates. In kind of a perfect world for you, what does 2022 look like for you as far as music, live performances, Grand Funk, everything?
Mm-hmm. Well, one thing, the pandemic was a big time for people to reassess what they do. For some people, they really took it easy. Oddly enough, I looked at it as a real opportunity to learn things and share even more than I ever had time for. So I got so busy with improving so much that I can do. It never stopped. And that year was like really very, very, not only was it enlightening for me in the sense of knowledge and everything, but I kind of built up my connection with the fans, and I got more of them, and I gave them content, and they supported me more. Then all of a sudden, by the middle of 21, of course, everyone felt like, okay, we're going to do concerts. We haven't really looked back, even though there's starts and stops. But Grand Funk gets 30 gigs in a half a year when we usually do 40 in an entire year. Don't ask me how we pulled that off, but and now, I mean, if I could give a simple answer to your question, well, I'd like to do it all. You know what I mean? In other words, do all the content I like sharing, the videos and give lessons and do cameos and record with the cruise band and do the Grand Funk dates and work with my wife and do live events and expos and autograph signings, So 2022 has so many things like kind of like that could happen. And it's just, I just have to balance it all and make it make sense. Cause I know I can't, there's a lot of power in saying no to something, or I just can't right now, as well as trying to do it all, but you can only do so much, so.
Excellent. Well, before we get you out of here, Bruce, you got to tell your wife, Lisa, she has a wonderful voice. People look forward to your content. And you guys just did, I think it was on Christmas Day, which was yesterday. You guys released a video for Hurry Home for Christmas, which was really cool. Why that song? That's an interesting
All right.
one.
So look, when it comes to the Christmas tunes, I really do leave that up to Lisa to choose. I mean, she's much more knowledgeable than, and if she's going to sing it, you know what I mean? It's really her prerogative. There's plenty of material to choose from, with Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And I remember us fooling around, or her playing that song to me last year. And I was like, oh my God, that's such a cool, especially when it's very fast. There's a line and I knew that she could do it. I actually even figured it out on the guitar. I wanted to see what the hell is it doing? That's so cool. And I didn't realize that it was actually a Stevie Lawrence, Edie Gourmet song. Robert Goulet did it. Other people did it. But when she played it for me, I was like, that's a really cool song. Now we try to be current, or try to be reflective of what's really going on in our lives. That's the best thing for an artist to do. And with me having those 30 gigs, you know what I mean? And all that travel, this half a year, Hurry Home for Christmas. You know what I mean? It's a perfect theme. So then when we discussed the song, we knew we were going to do it by the top of December, certainly. I started to think about, all right, well, now that I understand how to do a iMovie better and edit a video within reason, you can go down that rabbit hole and never finish it, you know what I mean? Or do too much. But I knew I wouldn't have a ton of time, but I knew they call it B-roll, you know what I mean? I'm going well, I'm going to be traveling. So there were 2 trips in between, from the start till Christmas. So I filmed whatever I could. Obviously, every place is decorated Christmas. And then I'm flying. So now I'm, filming the planes and all that. And we didn't know exactly how we would put it together, but we were telling a story. And then, of course, I wanted to film us. That's one performance, although I did enhance it a little bit. I added a bass to it that you can't hear. I added the lead guitars. You hear a little bit of doubling on the voice. You hear a jingle bell thing and a little string thing. That's so easy to do. I know I freaked out Lisa a little bit because she thought I was going to completely change the performance, where all I wanted to do was enhance it a little bit. We're still telling a story, but we did it in reverse. Some bands will record a song and then do a video to it. We actually filmed the song live and then put the video to it and added some musical elements. But you can do all those things. I'm so excited that I learned all the tools to do that. So this is the first Christmas video that's actually more than just us sitting in the living room, where not only are we sharing kind of the story through images and everything, but I was also able to slightly enhance the audio. So no one's going to fault it. For some people, they just saw it wow, that's the best one yet. Yeah, well, before it was just us sitting there. Not that isn't fun, but in this society when everyone's throwing up very creative content everywhere all the time, you know what I mean? It's better when there's something to grab your eyes. So I was really proud of it. It doesn't do the kind of clicks that my Kiss videos do when I'm sharing, something like that. But the great thing about a Christmas song is it's forever. You know what I mean? And me traveling and doing what I'm doing and us telling that story and playing is certainly timeless. So ultimately, I'd love us to do an EP and actually release a CD of these performances, or we know the songs, we know what we would do. It'd be a lot of fun,
Oh, that would be wonderful. Bruce, I can't thank you for taking the time. I know things are so crazy busy. I'm heading out to Vegas myself in just a couple of days. I will see you there. I know I got my Hot in the Shade shirt on, but I got to throw it out, man. My girlfriend's coming with me. Reason to Live is her favorite Kiss song. So if you just throw it on the set, it might already be in there. No spoilers.
But wait a minute. I'm a little confused. So you're wearing your Hot in the Shade shirt, but you're asking for Reason to Live, which is from Crazy Nights.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. I got this shirt on, but her favorite song is Reason to Live from Crazy Nights. I get
that. I can't make any promises, but I am sure that there'll be a lot of music that night that you guys will be smiling from ear to ear, they say, right?
We know that'll be the case. Bruce, guys, check it out, brucekulick.com. You can still get tickets. It's Thursday, December 30th, coming right up here.
It's getting close to sold out,
close.
and the VIPs right now is gone unless another person, because of what's going on, can't make it. So it's worth asking. There's a way to ask on the website. But Vamp'd is a great club, and keep in mind that it's off the strip. So if you're staying near the strip, it will take you about 20-25 minutes to get there, but it's easy. That's not congested like the strip. You know what I mean?
It's a great
right
club.
Next to a Lexus dealership. Okay.
Yeah, it's a great club. Reminds me a lot of.
You've been there.
The whiskey. Yeah, I've seen Jeff Tate there.
It's like the whiskey. Correct. Okay.
Very
great.
similar.
Glad
Love
you know
it.
Okay.
Bruce, thank you so much, my friend.
Again.
Happy holidays. We'll see you in just a
I'll
couple
see you
days,
then.
buddy.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Take care. All right. Bye-bye now.